Hi everyone, it's Karen here with another emotional art journaling page with intuitive healing. I created another journaling page a few months back and I got a really big response about how much it helped so many people because I shared how to express and release your emotions onto an art journaling page. And today I'm doing the same thing, although a little bit differently. And because I was feeling different emotions than what I felt last time, I had to release them in a different way. And this time I actually went into an intuitive healing, an intuitive art process where I let things run on their own without doing anything and just letting things flow just straight from my heart and from my soul. I'm linking the other emotional art journaling page here as well, and all the links to all the products I used today. This page is a little bit different than usual, and personally it's not one of my favorites, but you will see why this became such a healing process for me and how I did this after to be able to basically express everything that I was feeling. I apologize that the explanations to my steps are being pushed back a little bit down the video, but I do explain everything in the upcoming steps. Stay with me to the end so you can see how this video differs from others and what I did with this art journaling page that I've never done before. I started working in my Prima mixed media book. I used some graphite texture paste from Finnabair, and using a palette knife, I created texture with the Crafter's Workshop Stitched Art Stencil. I did this in both corners of my page and then heat set it. Once it was dry, I took a few color bloom sprays. I started with the cotton candy, but it was too light, so I ended up going with the wild raspberry, color bloom 2, and the black tulip. And I just added them and then let them drip down the page. I did use the cotton candy one to just let some of it drip down and mix so it becomes more watery. I also use a spray bottle to just help the water run down between the texture. I did have to add layers a little bit at a time by drying in between because I really wanted the color to soak into the background. Once I dried the first layer, I went in with the second layer of the same colors and again did the same thing. Instead of using the spout, you can always use a paintbrush to add because it soaks up more of the ink. So I just added it with my paintbrush into the edges of my journal and then just added some water to let it drip down the page. Up until now, I had created and started a journal the same way I do all my journals, with some texture and some color. I thought I was going to release my emotions the same way I had done with the other emotional journal by just expressing what I felt through art. However, this is not what happened. This is the point where I really didn't know where to go with my journal page. I had started it to try to release some of my emotional feelings, frustrations, and everything that was going on in the past few weeks, and I just really didn't know where to take it from here. So I thought, well, let's add some stamping, and I took a couple of texture stamps from Prima and from Finnabair and started adding it to the background with my archival ink. I basically stamped the image in different places just to add texture. First I used a script stamp and then I took one that mimicked the texture I had already in the background, and I basically added it everywhere and filled in the page all the way. This was the point that I really felt that something was guiding me, that it was just intuitively I was creating something and that I didn't even know that I was creating myself. I felt like something just kind of took over me and I just let that feeling just basically let me create what I wanted to create. I felt very trapped with my emotions of everything that was going on, and I realized later that actually the texture that I have put in the background and the stamped texture looked like kind of like a jail or some kind of gate that was preventing me from releasing them. I took my marker, and this is just a POSCA pen, black marker, and I started writing no everywhere. I did not want to be trapped. I did not want to feel this way, and it just basically kept on going no, 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 and this has never happened to me before. And I debated whether or not to share this with you guys, because it was just something that is very personal, but I just knew that I had to do this and release those emotions of everything, all the frustrations that I was feeling. I knew that by doing this it would release many of the things that I was just trying to get out of my system. Then after I had written no everywhere, I realized that everything was so dark and black, and I thought, oh, I need to add white. And I started basically adding some white circles using the lid of a container and some white gesso. This didn't only cover up the no, but also created some light, and I felt that I was coming out from the darkness into the light with these white circles. And this is a really weird art journal that I've created. I really never created anything like this, and I don't even know if I'll ever create one like this again, but I just felt like I had to go with it. And I took some of the color bloom spray, it's called Spring Dandelion, which is a yellow color, and I started adding it in the middle of these white circles, almost like it made me look like an egg yolk that was basically looked like a bunch of fried eggs on my background. But I really felt like, you know, an egg, a new beginning. I don't know, it was just, I mean, I'm analyzing it now, but I really don't know where it was taking me at the moment. And I just basically added the yellow, and I felt like this kind of eased everything, and it created like more of a lightness to the heaviness and the darkness that was in the background. And then I took a paintbrush, and basically while the gesso was still wet, I just created lines. It almost looked like flowers, or just, I don't know, it was just creating lines back and forth. Again, I was following an intuitive healing process that I didn't even know was happening, and that was great. Then, using the same paintbrush and some leftover gesso, I covered and dabbed all the white gesso on top of the areas where there was still black writing, and basically erased all of it from the surface. Once the white circles were dry, I started doodling around them. I basically didn't know what I was doing. It was just fun to just doodle and create these funky lines around them. I think the point of intuitive art, which leads to intuitive healing, is just basically doing what comes from your heart, from your soul, and just going with it without actually thinking of what you're doing, just doing what comes to you. And that's why, although this page looked really weird to me, I didn't know what it was doing, but I felt it as it was healing something inside of me. I circled the yellow part of the egg yolk or something like that, just to add a little bit more lines. I really was just going with the flow and trying to see what I wanted to do, and that's basically what I did. Once I was done with it, I didn't really know what to do with this page. I really didn't feel like it should stay in my journal. I really didn't want it to be part of it. It was a very frustration-filled page, and I didn't really want that energy to be in my journal. I just wanted it to kind of release it and then do something with it. So I had the idea to maybe burn it, but the first thing I did is took a black marker and basically wrote the word done, as if I was done with everything that I was feeling, that I did not want those feelings to be there anymore. So it was just done with it, and that's it, and ripped it out. And then took it outside to burn. I ripped it up into pieces and actually put it inside a glass container. It's a Pyrex container, and used a burning tool to just basically burn the edges until it would catch on. But I don't know, the paper must have been really good quality, because I tried a few times in different edges and I was just having a hard time burning it. I guess all the mediums that I had put on were making it difficult for me to burn it. But as you can see, the smoke is coming out, and I have my husband actually holding the camera so you can really see how it's basically burning. And as it was burning, it really felt good. It felt like everything was releasing, everything was gone from all the frustrations and the anger and the sadness that I had felt. What we did is we took actually a paper towel and we added it in between the papers so it would burn really well. Once the paper towel caught on fire, it caught the rest of the papers on fire and it basically burned them to ashes. Obviously, if you're going to burn something, please do it outside in a ventilated area or outside. And I kept a bowl of water beside it, so in case anything caught on fire, I would just throw it right away, but everything went well. And the glass helped to contain everything. In a similar way as people burn journals, this was my way of burning everything, all the frustrations from my art journal. I know people burn written journals, but this is basically the same thing that I had done here. Thank you so much for watching. If this video helped you in any way, please share it with others that it might help as well. If you liked my video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. For more inspiration, visit my website and sign up to my newsletter. Bye!